Hi everyone and welcome to TVnglish. So I'm sure you've heard that watching TV and movies is the best way to practice your English as a new English learner, but it's really time consuming to pause whatever TV show you're watching just to write down a phrase that you're interested in looking up. It also takes a long time to watch TV shows and movies, particularly if you're on a deadline. Maybe you have an English or a certificate exam, or you're immigrating to a country where English is the spoken language. That's why we created TVnglish YouTube channel. We do all the hard work for you. We look up different practical and interesting English phrases, and then we pick 25, tell you the meaning and how you can use them in your everyday life, all in under 10 minutes. And then you get to use them on your family and friends, or in a business or professional situation. So hit the subscribe button below. We don't want you to miss a single video. We have hundreds and hundreds of phrases coming out, and we can't wait to share them with you. All right, the sentence is, I'll draw up the paperwork. I'll draw up the paperwork is a great alternative to I'll do the paperwork or I'll prepare the paperwork. It's a specific English phrase that native speakers will use, and now you can too. There's fragile stuff in that box. Easy does it. In these two sentences, we're going to look at the sentence easy does it. Easy does it is a common English expression that means be careful or be gentle. In this context, the person who's saying there's fragile stuff in that box, easy does it, is saying lift the box carefully because there's fragile things in there and we don't want to break them. The project went like clockwork. So within this sentence, we're going to look at the phrase like clockwork. Like clockwork means it went really smooth. It went right on time. Everything was on schedule. There were no problems. Next sentence. It's right here, not on the moon, so we can just go by it. Within that sentence, we're going to look at not on the moon. Not on the moon means it's not very far away. It's not hard to access. It's right here. So in this sentence, it's right here, not on the moon, not that far away, so we can just go by it. I'm sorry that I have to be so blunt, but you're not handling the situation well. Being blunt is what we're going to look at in this sentence. Being blunt means being very direct with somebody, almost to the point of rudeness. So in this sentence, it's polite to say, I'm sorry to be so blunt, to explain why you're going to be just so direct before telling the person you're really not handling the situation well. Apologizing for being blunt is a good strategy in a work situation or in a situation where you need to tell somebody something that might be a bit hurtful to them, but you still want to be polite. The next sentence is, the minute they showed up, everything turned upside down. In this sentence, turned upside down means went crazy and sort of wrong, started not working the way that it should. So the minute that they showed up, everything sort of went wild. They must be pretty crazy people. The next sentence is, he's a high-profile public figure. So this sentence has two descriptors. The first one is high profile. High profile means something that is attracting a lot of attention. And then a public figure is somebody that people know. So a high profile public figure is somebody that a lot of people know, who a lot of people care about, and who attracts a lot of attention. So basically a very fancy person. I can't do it. Can't or won't. So of these two sentences, we're going to look at the second, can't or won't. In this sentence, the person is asking if you can't do something, you're not able to do something, or if you won't do something, you don't want to do something. It's a small difference, but it makes a big difference. If you're asking somebody to do something, if they can't do it, they actually can't. If they won't, then they just don't want to. And maybe they're kind of lazy. The next sentence is, don't blindside me. I don't like bad surprises. To blindside someone means to tell them something negative that they weren't expecting, so they're surprised by it and it's bad. So this person's like, don't tell me bad news like that. I don't like bad surprises. Don't blindside me. I'm going to accept your offer. I've had a change of heart. We're going to look at, I've had a change of heart. A change of heart is when you think or feel one thing, and then something changes the way that you think or feel. A change of heart is basically changing your mind. The next sentence is, this should put your mind at ease. The phrase within that sentence, putting your mind at ease, means calm you down, relax you, make you feel okay with what's happening. So this should put your mind at ease means whatever I'm saying to you is going to just make you feel just fine with what's happening. This sentence is a great example of something that you can use as an alternative in a professional setting. The sentence is, I can do that, but I don't think that it's advisable. The key word in this sentence is advisable. Advisable in this context means I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think it's a smart move. So if you find yourself saying good idea a lot at work and you want something that's a little bit more professional to use, you could try saying, I don't think it's advisable. We want to hit this problem head on. This phrase, hitting the problem head on, means addressing the problem precisely and directly, doing it right the first time so that you don't have to go back and fix any problems. This next sentence is, our strategy is to play offense and defense with equal intensity. So this sentence comes from sports. Playing offense in sports is when you go out in front and you try and score the goals. And playing defense are the people who stay back and try and protect their net or whatever they're guarding from the other team who's trying to score goals. So if I'm playing offensively and defensively with equal intensity in, say, a work setting, I'm both trying to go out and get what I want, but also protect what I already have the same amount. No one of those two is getting more effort. The situation today is very fluid, and as events evolve, so will our approach. This sentence is something you might hear in a business environment or you might hear on the news. We're going to break it down into two parts. The situation is very fluid. The first part means that what's happening right now is changing a lot and in a lot of different directions. We don't really know what's going to happen. The second part, and as events evolve, so will our approach, means that whoever's speaking, maybe it's a business, maybe it's the government, is planning on addressing each part of what's going on as it comes. They don't have a single plan that they're just going to push forward. They're going to look at what's happening and address it as it's happening. So the whole sentence, the situation today is very fluid, and as events evolve, so will our approach, means everything's changing a lot right now. So we are going to change as well as things change. This next sentence is really fun and a really nice casual thing you can say. The sentence is, we won, this calls for a drink. This calls for a drink is a great substitution for saying, let's have a drink to celebrate. If you are in a kind of fun mood and want to have a drink, you can say, this calls for a drink. I tripped and hit my face on the coffee table. In this sentence, you have the word tripped. What does it mean to trip? So when you catch your foot on something on the floor and you fall, that's tripping. If that's what happens to you, you can say tripped instead of fell. I tripped, I caught my foot and fell, and hit my face on the coffee table. What a bummer. The next sentence is, they cut ties with the mob. So cutting ties, the first phrase within this sentence, is getting rid of your contact with somebody, not really talking with them anymore, trying to break the relationship you have with them. And the mob is a slang word for a criminal organization, often within families who sort of control the crime of a neighborhood. So altogether, they cut ties with the mob means they tried to break the relationship that they have with the criminal underworld. Okay. This next sentence has a little bit of not so great language. Here we go. Don't you see what's happening? Get your head out of your ass. So this sentence is not something you want to use at work. It's a great casual sentence to use with your friends. Get your head out of your ass means pay attention to what's around you. Look up. Notice what's happening. If the carrot doesn't work, we should use the stick. The carrot and the stick is a common English expression. In this expression, the carrot is a reward for good behavior, and the stick is a punishment for bad behavior. So in this phrase, if the carrot doesn't work, we should use the stick. The speaker is saying, if a reward for good behavior doesn't work, then we should use a punishment for bad behavior. All right, next sentence. Speak your mind. Speak your mind is a great alternative to saying, say what you're thinking. You can use the phrase, speak your mind, if you're trying to encourage somebody who you don't really feel like is fully communicating what they think, and you want to get them to really say what they're thinking. You can say, speak your mind. You can take it to the bank. He's going to be the next president. So of these two sentences, we're going to look at the first one. You can take it to the bank. This is an English expression that comes from writing checks. So if you write a check that you know is good, that you know can be used, you would give the person the check and say, you can take it to the bank. You can take it to the bank and get money right now because I know this is going to work. So take it to the bank in that context means it's a sure thing. It's definitely going to happen. In this sentence, you can take it to the bank. He's going to be the next president. This means he's definitely going to be the next president. So this phrase is a more educational or professional phrase. The ramifications of his choices put his business in jeopardy. So there's two parts I want to talk about in this sentence. The first part, the ramifications of his choices. Ramifications are the consequences, usually negative, or the results. So the results of this person's choices put his business in jeopardy. What does putting something in jeopardy mean? Putting something in jeopardy basically means putting something at risk. So the ramifications of his choices, the consequences, the results of his choices put his business in jeopardy, put his business at risk. This phrase is really practical and can be used in a lot of different situations. The phrase is, that's beside the point. Beside the point means not important, not related, has nothing to do with what we're talking about. An example of this might be, let's say you want to buy a house and you're talking to your friend about how excited you are. And your friend says, ooh, that's a lot of snow to shovel. You might say, that's beside the point. That has nothing to do with why I want to buy a house. This plan can go sideways. This plan can go sideways means the plan can go very wrong. There's a lot of things that couldn't work and it could be bad news. Thanks for stopping by to the English YouTube channel, everyone. Come back soon for more really cool phrases from TV shows and movies.